And now, Freelance Heroism presents Bard Company.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before we even get started, let's just take a second to say thank you to everyone out there who donates to the Patreon. In particular, those who donate at the producer tier. Rachel,
Yes.
would you like to let us know who they are?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Nate, Breakmeister, Rebecca, and Chris Soanes. Thank you so much, everyone.
You help us make a better show for everyone, and it really means the world to us. Thank you.
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
you ever steal anything?
When I was a kid once, I accidentally stole a sandwich from a grocery store.
Whoa.
And then I
Oh, hold on.
Sorry.
You know, before we do these, what we do is we're like, what do we want to talk about? And then we kind of spitball some ideas, and then we pick one and we start talking. We don't really know where it's gonna go.
No.
How'd you steal a sandwiches are constructed
Uh-huh.
from parts that you get at the grocery store. If you stole a sandwich, that means that you went in there, went to the bread aisle, went to the cheese aisle, got some lettuce, built yourself a sandwich, and then left. Is that how it went?
No. So at the grocery store I would always go to as a kid, they had like a deli in the back, and so they had like pre-made sub sandwiches and stuff like that. And so you could either pay at the deli in the back of the store, or you could pay at the front of the store where the other registers were.
Right.
And I went back there and I got a sandwich, and I had thought that I would get like a soda or something.
Before we...
I was maybe like 10, I guess.
Okay. I'm just trying to visualize the crime.
And they just had the sandwiches like out in a big cooler, in front of the deli, and you could just go over and grab what you wanted.
To tempt the thieves.
And so I got one.
We dare you to take our sandwiches.
And I told the lady like behind the deli counter, I was like, I'm gonna pay for this up front. And she said, okay. And then
And she believed you.
And she believed me.
That rube.
And I went and I left, and by the time that I like got to the front of the store, I had forgotten that I hadn't paid for the sandwich. So I just walked out. Nobody stopped me. Nobody was like, hey kid, let me see your receipt for that 99-cent sub sandwich.
Let me see that sandwich paper. Let me see that sandwich paper, chickie. I'm trying to think of something that they would call someone in the 1920s, which is when I'm imagining this was set. You stole a sandwich. So that was your big heist. What's the most recent thing you've stolen? That's more the question. And when? Is it still within the statute of limitations? You don't want to say?
I can't actually talk about that, so.
I can only talk about things 7 years old.
So, well, you were the one that wanted to talk about this, so we don't need to hear any more crime-related stories from me.
No, wait. I think we should. That's what I was saying. I think this intro took an interesting turn. All right, so the basic thing that I wanted to talk about was essentially that I feel like I would be good at crimes. Committing them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just commit. I'd be good at it, I think. And like when I watch movies or when I watch the news and a person is committing a crime that's like non-violent nature, like I'm not a violence kind of, I don't root for violence or whatever. But like if a person's like robbing like a jewelry store, right? And they come in with guns and they're like, give me all the jewelry. I'm like, that's boring. I don't no part of that interests me. But like if they go in and they've got like the alarms are down within a second and they know exactly where to go, and they got all the stuff in the bags, and then they have 2 or 3 vans, and then they go in different directions, and then they do a car swap. And it's just like, when I hear about stuff like that, I'm like, oh, look at that. It's like, it's elegant and interesting to me. I love it. And so I find myself like judging crimes whenever they're on the news. So like, I'll watch a crime, like they'll describe what happened. This person tried to do a high-speed chase, and they tried to, and then I'm watching. I'm like, well, don't drive on that side. That's where the turnoffs are, right? You're not gonna be able to pick up any speed. People are gonna slow down. It's gonna bunch you up. You're planning on driving a straight shot. Then you got to ditch the car at some point. But you got to ditch a car in a place that you're familiar with, so that you can, use the terrain to your advantage. And like watching criminals is very frustrating to me, because they haven't put in the effort. It's like anything that you want to be good at, you need to practice. Right?
Yeah.
But crime isn't one of those types of things where you can just go out and do some light crime and try to brush up your experience, or you got to put the thought in ahead of time before you commit a crime. Right?
I would imagine, unless it's a crime of opportunity where you steal a sandwich.
Yeah, because then you'll never get caught unless you admit to it on a podcast. Unless you admit to it on a podcast 20 years later. The feds kick your door down.
Oh no.
And arrest you mid-intro. Nope. Okay. Just hope, maybe.
No.
Thinking maybe it would happen.
No, not yet.
But so my thing is, I've always had like a fascination with that kind of thing. And I feel like I would be very good at it, but I don't commit crimes because I'm aware that as a society, if everyone that thought they'd be good at crimes committed crimes, society would suck. Yeah. Right? So sure. I don't do it. But that being said, I do have sort of like a fascination with crime. And I find myself in this situation all the time where people in positions of authority look at me and they can tell that I'd be good at crime. And so I draw all of the attention from people who are like, that guy's a criminal. But I'm not.
You got that crime look.
I swear to God I do. Cops can't walk past me without looking me up and down. There's something about the way that I carry myself where police officers are like, their eyeballs just like shoot right to me. Out of a crowd of like 50 people, I will make eye contact with the police officer for sure. They will look straight through the fog of people, right, and hit me right in the eyes like I'm a fucking lighthouse of crime. They could just see it in me.
You have all that potential crime built up in you.
Yeah,
they can sense
it's like an aura.
Yep.
They can tell. Yeah.
There are like some
it also could be my face going
your little narrow eyes, you got your cigarette, you're looking at like, what can I steal?
Yeah, you know what? That's a surprisingly accurate description of me.
Also, you kind of like hunch over and you rub your hands together looking at anything
come on,
of
I'm
value.
not an idiot. I think that if you were to, in a crowd, if you were to walk into a bar and see me in there by myself smoking a cigarette or something, well, back when you could smoke in a bar, let's not do that whole thing. But if you walked into a bar and you saw me, I would straight up look like I was out of a Scorsese film. Like, that's just how I act. All of my mannerisms are that of a criminal, and I'm doing my best. And I don't think I get enough credit for that, by the way. The worst part would be if I was a criminal and got caught, having to go to prison, right? Because I don't like lifting weights, and I'm really not that into chess. So, like, I don't really have anywhere to go. You know?
True. You know, I don't know what other like prison hobbies you could do beyond lifting weights and chess.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't know. What else is there?
I don't know. Most of my prison knowledge, I think, comes from watching Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. Though I could be down with some of that. So what about you? How about this? Let's end the intro with like a criminal name. What do you think?
I feel like you've given more thought to a criminal name than I ever have. So
I
I'm
honestly
at a disadvantage.
But I think that I would be Dees the Jackal. Yeah, the Jackal is definitely where it's at. Because it's like a dog kind of, but it's like kind of dirty. Like, you know what I mean? You can't trust the Jackal. They'll get you. What do you think?
That's pretty good. Although I feel like there's I think a lot of people choose Jackal or the Jackal as like a nickname.
You think so?
I think so. I literally just read a book like yesterday, and one of the side characters was this sort of petty criminal who went by the name the Jackal.
Okay, well then how about this? Johnny Six Sticks.
I don't know how it's related to thievery.
Because I'll fuck you up. I got 6 sticks. Oh God, I don't know. I thought we would do each other's nicknames, but okay. Anyway, my first thought was Jackal, but I don't know that that's gonna fly because I don't want to. If anything, I would not want to be unoriginal.
Well, but although if a lot of people go with the Jackal, then you've got sort of that like
cover.
That cover, yeah, because then it's like, which Jackal is it? Could be any of them.
Yeah. No, I think with codename you want people to know you.
Oh, okay.
I think it's not necessarily for the police; it's for other criminals that would work with you. You know?
Okay.
Fucking crime, am I right? I don't know what your nickname would be. I'm trying to think. The deli deviant.
I don't like that.
She steals sandwiches. The Submariner. Because she stole a sub sandwich.
Subways beware.
All right. So if this is playing in court, this was all for entertainment purposes and is in no way indicative of me committing a crime.
Okay.
Or any admission of guilt.
All right.
The Jackal don't play that game.
Why don't we go ahead and go to this week's episode?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a Bard Company episode. I just want to say it's the first episode of where I did sort of like a little homebrew adventure because we only had Dees and Nate for this game. So I thought I would try to run something original. So if it sucks or it's rough, that's why.
Come on, it was good. It was good.
But this is Bard Company episode 24, Just the Two of Us.
Yeah. Maybe the dingo.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
The dingo approves. I also need a mask, like probably made of metal.
That would be heavy.
Well, just the faceplate and the rest of it's like a cloak.
Okay.
Pretty much I just want to be Dr. Doom. Is that fair? Can I just be Dr. Doom?
I think only Dr. Doom can be Dr. Doom.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
Dr. Dingo.
Well, this is not from Lost Mines of Phandelver that I've been running. This is my attempt at homebrewing something for the two of you. So I can't wait for you guys to take this campaign, this module that I've lovingly homebrewed for the last 2 days and turn it into nothing but jokes about buttholes.
Oh, we're getting started. We're getting started early.
Oh,
You know what? To be perfectly honest and fair, I think it's great that you've taken the time to craft something
Mhm.
so lovingly just for the two of us so that we can absolutely shit all over it. It's just great.
I'm going to shit on this. It's going to happen. She knew that when she made it.
It's just actually in Drew fairness, I'm pretty sure if you could actually look at her desk, it's just one page. It's just repeated writing. Why the fuck do I do this? Why the fuck do I do this?
So Rachel, I want to give you some updates, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So I got the lucky feat
Uh-huh.
3 times a day. I get to
How do you
reroll.
have the lucky feat?
Level 4, I get a feat instead of a point.
That's if you've chosen the same class 4 times.
Oh, is it really? If you only choose the same class 4 times?
Yeah.
I know, like that was a wrench. That was a wrench in my butthole plans.
Are you
Fine.
saying that
Fine.
you still have a butthole? It's just not a lucky butthole.
Whatever.
All
Okay.
buttholes are lucky.
Well, then I guess I get a bonus to a stat that'll do nothing.
No, you don't. That's at 4th level.
Oh, 4th of the same class?
Of the same class, yes.
Well, at least I don't have to fucking worry about it then.
Yeah.
Dog. This is dog dick.
That's okay. I picked up like a whole bunch of stuff, but my armor class is now, if it wasn't shit before, it is like super shit now.
Wow.
Like someone could sneeze on me and I'd fucking explode. I have an AC of 11.
Oh my god.
That is bad.
That's the unfortunate nature of, I guess, taking sorcerer as the first class.
So this is for the Lichgate timeline. This takes place after you guys have rescued Gundren, but before you go to the
Red Bandits.
No.
Oh.
The mines that we stopped at last game.
Right.
So you're level 4. You guys probably spent like a couple of days in town anyway, to rest up.
Yeah.
Um,
Is this after the town agreed to build an amphitheater effectively for
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we have a Lichgate cover band in Phandalin yet?
What?
You do not.
We got to work on that then. That's the sure sign of making it, is when you have a cover band.
That's not the what? So I was watching John Oliver the other day, and he said bad things are bad, but tributes to bad things are worse. He's like nothing good can come from Nickelback, but nothing good will ever come from Nickelneck.
True, but it does generate royalties and licensing fees.
Does it?
Well, it does in my universe anyway.
I don't think they have to pay to pretend to be you.
Well, they
like
do.
Cosplaying.
Then whoever came up with those contracts were fucking awful. Go back to business school or law school or whatever fucking clown college you came from.
Rachel, when shall the butthole begin? When should the jokes begin about the buttholes? Butt Holdenstein.
I'm sure you guys already started them, so.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'll save a few in the chamber for when we get into the game.
Okay, great.
In the butt chamber.
So, like I was saying before, I did homebrew all of this. So if I have to stop at some point,
this is
check my notes or make things up, I apologize.
The India Pale Ale of D&D. She made it in her basement.
I watched this. There's this web series called Gourmet Makes, which is about this gourmet pastry chef, and she gets like junk snack foods, and each episode is her like trying to recreate them, but in a gourmet fashion.
Yeah, like Hot Pockets and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she always has to sort of like reverse engineer to figure out like how things are formed or like how they're cooked and stuff like that. And usually by like day 3, she is like so fed up with like trying to cook and recook the same thing over and over. And there's this one point where like she calls some of her coworkers over so they can try whatever she's made. And she goes, I just want you to know I can accept zero criticism right now. And he's like, well, it's great. It's perfect. And
that's better than the original Hot Pocket. Really?
It's supposed to be a Twinkie, you bastard.
Well, Twinkie's a Hot Pocket. It's just a
More or
Hot
less,
Pocket
just-
for a weird filling, like a lazy ass filling. Okay.
all right.
How do you
So-
want to begin game?
So
That's gonna echo in this. That voice is gonna echo in my little alcove here. I'm gonna hear what you guys hear. Originally, it was to annoy you guys,
Oh yeah.
but now
No,
it's
it's-
gonna annoy me.
No, it's self-torture.
all right. So you guys are back at Phandalin. It's been,
All right.
we'll say, a day. Gundren is still recovering from his wounds since you guys have rescued him, where you outbid a female drow who was negotiating to bring him to Black Spider. And then you guys showed up and basically offered more money. So Gundren is still recovering. Varys has taken it upon himself to basically drink and sit by Gundren. Mostly just sit and drink, and Gundren happens to be nearby. So he is quite inebriated at the time. And Mel is off with his groupie that he likes to reference quite often.
Consult the chart.
What day of the week is it?
And
It's Slaughter Day. I dropped something and I'm never gonna get it back.
It's gone, man. It's
Oh,
gone.
man.
Just leave it.
It's gone forever.
Game
Oh,
over.
man.
so we will say it is mid-morning. You guys have since recovered from your time at the,
The boneyard.
was it Cragmaw Keep? I believe
Oh,
is what it was called.
Right, right.
That sounds about right.
And you guys are in town. What are you two up to?
Animating stall. Getting my hand back. Every morning. That's my early morning ritual.
Okay.
Summon Palmula.
Gonna have to get you a matching set. You need Rosie to go along with that.
Technically, this is anachronistic because we wouldn't have been this level at the time. I wouldn't have been able to summon Palmula.
Mm,
But because we are the level that we are,
yes.
and I would just ask the fans to just enjoy this shit. Don't be a pedantic prick. You know, like I
Continuity
just was.
Continuity, schmontinuity.
Yeah, like I just was. This is gonna be a side adventure, motherfucker. Don't think too hard about it. Okay.
Didn't you have your hand for like the last Bard Company game? Because you like threw it at someone.
Yeah.
I did. No, I had it in the last game, but that was the first time I ever summoned it was that day.
Okay. Well, this
So-
is after that.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Okay.
That would imply that we played a game after this, correct? Let's not think about it
yeah,
too hard.
okay.
We're doing what I just yelled at them for. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you're doing that, Ranazmyr.
Yes, I'm just high-fiving it over and over again until it comes to life. That's the ritual. I didn't make it up. That's what it says in the book. It says a high five.
Okay. Virion, what are you up to?
Oh, I'm trying to recall exactly what. So I know that before we left to rescue Gundren,
Mhm.
that's when we had the discussion with Mayor Butters,
That's right.
Mayor Buttersworth, which is where we got the go ahead for the town of Phandalin to go ahead and build its massive amphitheater for us. You know, a 3,500 seat venue for a town of 106. But we've only been gone a day, so I don't actually expect anything to have happened on that. Yeah.
No.
You know what? I think I'm actually just going to take a morning constitutional. I think I'm just going to sort of stroll about the village.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're so poop centric.
No.
No. That
That would have been a morning ablution, but
Oh, man, look at this guy.
yeah,
Look at him. Dropping big words.
I know, $20 words. I use my mouth prettier than a $20 whore.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think I'd just like to take a stroll around Phandalin and just see if there is anything happening, anything worth kind of listening to. And if I sense that there is something opportunistic, I shall jump on it.
Okay. Give me a perception since you're just kind of walking around. And the town's not that big.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to hear a freaking thing then, am I?
Walking around downtown.
Oh, holy hell, look at that.
Oh.
Run a 19 on the die, so a 20 overall.
Okay. So walking around, when you first leave the Stonehill Inn, there are a few people that are up. You can see the clerk who works for the mayor.
The baker with his same old bread to sell. Every morning, just the same.
Deputy
Just the
Mayor
morning that you
Garleek.
came
Harbin, the
to
clerk
this
that
redneck, messed out, backwoods, hill fuck town.
the clerk that works for Harbin Wester, who's the butter guy.
Mayor Butter.
Mayor Butter.
Butterworth. Yeah.
He's just going into the building. You can see Sister Garaele looks like she's doing some gardening in front of her house.
Blindly gardening.
She's not blind.
You got no eyes.
She thinks she's picked up a plant, but she's actually grabbed a cat instead and is trying to currently bury it. She doesn't understand why the dandelions are so swipey.
She's poured water on it and is drowning it. Like, oh my God, why is she killing that cat?
She's not blind.
Oh, she's just evil. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Understood.
After, it takes you maybe like half an hour to just kind of meander around. As you're coming back, one thing that you do notice is that Sister Garaele is now sort of sitting in her yard. She's got a book open in front of her that it looks like she's copying something into, and one of her hands is resting on top of an upturned bucket.
Okay. So apparently that cat she pissed off is trying to she's trying to keep it at bay now. I'll approach Sister Garaele and good morning, sister. How are you?
How far away from her are you when you call out to her?
Oh, well, I would imagine like social distance. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not like going to shout at her from across across town. I imagine. I mean, if I'm walking by her, I know I'm probably within walking distance, like 30 feet.
Okay, all right. So she'll look up, and you can see from about that distance. You can see she's got it looks like a journal open, and next to it is a torn sheet of paper that has some writing on it. She doesn't stand up. She stays where she's at with her hand kind of on the bucket. She goes, "Oh, good morning, Virion."
I hope I'm not interrupting anything. I just couldn't help but notice you scribbling away here. I'm gotta say I'm a little curious. What's the deal with the bucket?
I found something.
Okay.
She's bad at.
She's blind. She doesn't know what it is. I've just got something trapped in this bucket. It's a small child.
It's a very small child.
Well, she didn't say how big the bucket was.
Oh, that's true. How big's the bucket, Rachel?
It's a normal bucket.
Okay, so baby is capable. Okay. A child capable bucket.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it a metal bucket or a wood bucket?
It's a
Totally
wooden,
metal. It's metal.
it's a wooden bucket.
It's a wooden bucket. Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
You can hear something moving underneath it.
Does it sound? Yeah.
No, there's no meowing.
So it is a baby then. We've
Goo
confirmed.
goo 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 goo
Not a
goo goo.
No, it's just you just hear like movement noises and something scratching at it from inside.
Is there something alive under that bucket?
Solid. Fucking Perry Mason over here.
I have a wisdom of 1.
I wouldn't call it alive.
You wouldn't call it alive.
No.
Would that also imply you wouldn't call it dead?
Yes, I suppose so.
So it's somewhere in between, I take it.
Yes.
Somewhere between living and dead. Rachel Maddow. Oh, sorry.
Somewhere between living and dead. So it's Kansas. Or insert red state here. Okay.
I took a shot at Rachel Maddow. That's so mean. I just gonna justify it for a minute.
Go ahead.
She has the way she talks just sounds like she's not 100% into it, and then she is for a minute, and then she's back out of it, like she's got to get her composure. And it's just she's like a person that doesn't know what speed they're supposed to be driving at, and if they don't pay attention for a minute, they start going 80, and then they pull off. They're like, okay, sorry.
It's the emotional Doppler effect.
Yeah, it's very weird. I watched her like on I had like a playlist of news stories I was watching the other day, and it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I couldn't tell if she had too much coffee or was very tired because she kept shifting. Never mind. This is not going to help anybody out there understand the joke better. Continue. Pretend I didn't say it.
Okay.
Got it. Future Rachel, edit all that out.
Edit out the Rachel Maddow.
All right. Well, might I ask how you came into possession of something that's not quite living and not quite dead, and why is it under the bucket?
Well, according to the Schrodinger principle, it's both alive and dead.
And dead, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
that's
only
what the cat is.
exactly. It's only undead, when you collapse the waveform.
Rachel, could we collapse the waveform?
She will kind of sigh and pick up the kind of like take the torn piece of paper and put it in the journal, and she'll stand up but put her foot on the bucket to keep whatever is under there in it. She'll go, well, I found it in my garden. It wasn't meant for me.
So you typically don't find things like this in your garden, then, is what I'm taking. So wait, what do you mean it's not for you?
She'll hold out the torn piece of paper to you, and she'll say, this is addressed to your friend.
Well, define friend. That's a bit of a subjective term here.
Boy, I'm really glad I'm not there to feel this cold burn. This denial of friendship attack.
Well, it's like Schrodinger's friend. I have to figure out who it is, and then I'll determine to what degree I'm a friend with that person, depending on how bad it is. What does the piece of paper say?
Are you reading it?
If she
I'm not your friend.
Yeah. If she handed it to me, I think naturally it's sort of my instinct to read any piece of paper I'm given.
Okay.
That's good news for later. I'm going to save that in my Rolodex.
It says, my friend Ranazmyr, I write in haste as my investigations in the hills have proven more fruitful than I imagined. I am unfortunately in need of some assistance from you and your companions, as you are the only open-minded individuals I've met here during my studies. Please follow my guide. If you take him back to my camp, he can lead the way. I can, of course, reward you for your assistance. And it's signed Harmon Cost, which you would know is the necromancy wizard that you guys met previously.
Out of curiosity, is it Harmon like Mark Harmon? Or is it harm and cost?
It,
Like Rizzoli and Isles?
it's Harmon, Harmon, last name Kost.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Totally,
Like Mark
totally
Harmon.
not. Yeah,
Right.
totally not foreshadowing at all. Oh well, so this thing under the bucket is what's going to lead us back to wherever it's supposed to go. Is that
I would assume so.
It's the
Okay.
scarab from the beginning of Aladdin, the one that takes you to the Cave of Wonders.
yeah? But I haven't seen what this is yet, right? She's still got her foot firmly on the bucket.
Yes.
What if she took it off and it was a smaller bucket? Mind blown. Take that, Black Mirror.
Undead babushka.
And you do notice there's a drawing on the back side of the paper.
Okay, and it is.
It is a sketch done in charcoal. It looks like it's an entryway set in a rocky hillside that has had some rubble kind of cleared from it. The entrance is just a stark black open doorway flanked by columns, while above this door is a symbol of a black disc with a border around it.
Does it mean anything to me?
Give me a religion check.
Well, I'm partially reasonably decent at that. Let's see what happens. 16.
Yes. So this is a symbol of Shar. She is the neutral evil goddess of night, secrets, and loss.
And
So
Lost?
a goth chick. Got it.
Yes, she's
She
very
likes
goth.
She likes the Lost show.
Loss.
Rachel.
Loss.
Oh. Is this Lost?
So definitely on Mel's spectrum of women. Got it. Okay. All right. Well, I'm thinking that this is probably something I should go find Ranazmyr and bring him here. If this was meant for him, I have a feeling it's probably going to be attached to him, as so many other things that follow him around are. So I agree that we'll take this on. I'll take is she giving me the piece of paper, or is she just letting me read it?
She's roll me an insight.
Oh well, that'll be fantastic. I don't know shit.
You don't know. You don't know if she's given this to you to have or to borrow.
Okay, now because I rolled 1, given Virion's new duds, so to speak, am I forced to roll for wild magic in a non-combat setting, or how does that work?
No, that's just for if you cast a sorcerer spell of first level or higher.
And I hit a 1.
Then yeah, you roll a d20 with it, and then if that d20 is a 1,
Got it.
then we roll the wild
So
magic table.
I'm not going to accidentally immolate.
No.
Got it. All right, just making sure. I've this is altogether new to me. Okay. So yeah, I am completely clueless. It is way too early in the morning, and I have not had enough coffee yet to get my blood flowing to my brain.
Mhm.
Mostly because it has the consistency of motor oil. So yeah, it's a 1.
You're not sure.
All right. Well, I guess I will just tell her to keep whatever is in the bucket,
Okay.
and I will go find Ranazmyr,
All right.
and I go do that.
Okay. Ranazmyr, where are you at?
Me and the hand Palmla are doing our morning yoga.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Is that what we're calling it now?
No, it's a hand. So we're doing feel lattes.
I just know there's lots of stretching exercises.
No, I just so I guess we're there. I just finished smacking it to life.
Yes.
And I guess that was my whole morning plan. Was to
Okay.
bring my
Where are
hamburger
you?
helper friend back to life.
Are you in like the common room of the inn?
Yeah,
Okay.
down at like near where the fireplace is, where all the cool rangers sit mysteriously.
Okay. So Virion, you would know that Ranazmyr is there since you would have passed him on your way to go and take a walk around the village.
All right. Well, then I suppose I'm heading back to the inn. And I will walk in and I will find him playing with his hands.
Twiddling our thumbs.
Twiddling your thumbs. Sorry, I really had to bite my lip when you said smacking it to life. No,
it was intentional.
I figured it was. I'll walk up and I'll tap Ranazmyr on the shoulder and say, "Hey, I got something interesting you might want to come take a look at. Seems that Harmon Cost took a shining to you. Remember the old necromancer we came across with his little zombie circus up there?
Yes.
Yeah. Apparently there's a package here for you. And I have no idea what it is, but I think it's probably something better handled by you than me."
And I can definitely handle it. And I'm going to give like a kind of a pose. And as I do that, the little hand will also kind of throw its thumb up, like we're both doing the same thing. So we're going to start marching in that direction. Me and my little hand walking behind me
Okay.
on its two front fingers.
Okay. So you will find Sister Garaele still in her yard, her foot on the bucket. Ranazmyr, you can hear something is trapped underneath the bucket.
Can I take a check to hear if it sounds familiar?
Sure. Give me a perception.
Huh. 10?
It sounds like there's something alive trapped under a bucket.
I'm going to turn back and be like, it sounds like there's something alive trapped under a bucket.
Well, sort of, as I've been informed, is also not a cat nor a baby. I can tell you that much.
What's in the bucket?
She'll step off of it and take off the bucket, and it is a hand. And it kind of like runs through the grass for a moment and then turns around towards Sister Garaele, and you see it like flip over and it flips her off, and then it goes back onto its fingertips and runs over to Ranazmyr.
Hold on. Excellent. So like my hand Pamela is like staring at it with its open wrist, its bloody knobbed wrist. And like it's like, why do birds suddenly appear?
This one, give me a
It's a boy hand.
give me a medicine check, Ranazmyr.
I thought I was going to do the things like where dogs do. It's like they were just going to go over and smell each other's wrists.
They shake.
They shake. They high five.
19.
Okay. So with this one, normally when someone creates a animated undead hand like this, you're sort of more careful about like how you cut off the hand. But this one, like where its forearm ends, or like it goes like about halfway up the forearm, it looks like it was chewed off.
Huh.
Like it wasn't cleanly cut.
Right. Is it wearing rings or anything like that?
No.
Glove?
No.
Rookies. What about the nails? Do they look kempt?
No, they're very like broken and dirty.
Hairy knuckles.
Why am I asking these questions? Like would ever do this.
All this information goes through Ranazmyr's head, and then he just immediately forgets it.
Oh my god, do you know how early it is? I'm gonna lean in and I'm like, do you know sign language, boy?
It does not know sign language, but it seems like it kind of wants to like it's eager to go now that it's found you.
Oh, it wants to lead
Jumping
the
up and
way.
pulling on your pants leg. Great. There's two of them now. Fantastic.
Sister Garaele speaks up. She goes, "So are you? I assume that's the guide. It's what was carrying the letter. Are you going with it?
Yes.
Can I go with you?"
I don't know. Now who wants to hang out all the time? Now that my windfall of hand has doubled. Now that my hand investment is paying hand dividends handily.
She's been looking for a man that can count to 10.
Oh, now I can count to 20. How do you like that? I don't have a problem with it. But
Well, I just,
just don't fall in love again.
Again?
I'm going to look at her and I'm like,
She's gonna look over at Virion.
He's got 2 dead hands. I mean, what do you want from me? I
and
don't
2
know.
live ones. Come on, let's be fair. I am half Goro.
I don't know. Part of me in my head's thinking, great, we're going to be so slow dragging along a blind cleric. This will be fantastic.
Not blind.
I don't know. She goes on an adventure with us. She might end up that way.
Okay, so you are Palmela. I'm going to point to the one hand. And I'm going to point to the other one and be like, you are Brian De Palma. You wrote Scarface.
Say hello to my little friends.
Can I get the round of applause? Okay. Well, do I have another chain gauntlet? Like glove? Because I'm assuming they come in pairs.
Yes.
I did get one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm going to outfit the other one. I'm gonna put it on, and then around like the wrist part, I'm going to tie like a leather strap, so it kind of looks like a belt.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going for a leash.
No, I just want to keep it up.
Okay.
Because like you've seen OJ. It's hard to keep them on,
If the chainmail don't fit. All right. Well, I guess to be fair, I've been part of bigger freak shows in my career. Let's see where this thing points us to.
Excellent. Sister
Yes.
Garaele is gonna run into her house to grab some of her gear.
More hands.
She brings a backpack full of hands.
Your cousin left these for you. They were in her backpack.
No.
Remember back from episode 1?
No.
Instant callback.
All right, so
I
you're
really
just
want to get some more hands so I can get the new names. Palmela and Brian De Palma. They're made in heaven.
the new hand, Brian De Palma.
Oh, this never gonna get old.
Doesn't like because he has like this sort of like jagged stump of forearm sticking out from like above the gauntlet, so he doesn't look as nice as Pamela does.
Right, his filmmaking wasn't elegant. Actually, I don't think he wrote it. I think he directed it. Am I crazy? I'm gonna look that up.
No, I think you're right. I believe that is correct.
So, you guys are gonna follow this hand?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, he directed it.
Yeah. They also say he's a screenwriter, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm currently looking through my wild magic table just to see if it has anything possible with hands on it. Just because. But I don't think it does.
All right. Well, the new hand leads you guys out of Phandalin into the northeast.
Wait. I summoned a new hand, right?
Uh-huh.
So I have to give it another name. It's not Palma anymore.
Oh, okay.
Now it's Cool Hand Luke. Okay, we're doing some movie things today.
Okay.
So now you have
Mhm.
got it.
Cool Hand Luke, Brian De Palma.
Great.
Right.
I can't believe I was worried about running out of material for this homebrew.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good luck.
So you guys follow it. It does lead you to the northeast out of town, where it starts to get kind of hilly. You guys recognize this direction as where Harmon's tent, like his campsite, is, where you originally met him. So it does get, you guys slow down a little bit as you arrive there just because of the terrain. Once you do arrive, you see his tent is still up, last place you saw it. You don't see any of his zombies around. His tent does look a little worse for wear, like like there's like the doorway is untied, so it's just sort of like flapping in the breeze. Both of you give me perception checks.
Gonna ask. I mean, it was just what, like a day or two ago that we came across it the first time, right?
I would say probably like 2.5 days.
2.5 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Perception 16 for me.
Good for you, man. I want to read mine.
Okay. So there is a well nearby that he presumably set up his camp here because the well still has fresh water in it, even though this area has very old ruins. And that's what he was investigating here. And leaned up against the well is a backpack, and there's some like splashes of water, so the stone is a little dark in some places where it looks like some water was spilled.
Oh man, I have professional questions I want to ask, but I can't because I'm a dumbass idiot.
Well, so I mean, you're saying that there's water splashed and like the backpack is wet?
Not that the backpack is wet. It just looks like maybe someone set their backpack down and filled their water skin, and then.
So I mean, this is water evaporates reasonably quickly. So this is not something that's been sitting here for hours. This is like just
Boom.
been done.
Yes.
Do I see anyone around?
Not outside.
Do I hear anything coming from the tent?
Give me a perception.
Here's where it'll suck. Oh, no, it's a 15. Hot shit.
It does sound like there's someone inside of the tent. Sounds like maybe they're going through things.
Okay, I'll call out. My assumption is that this is potentially Harmon. Well, no, I think I'm going to backtrack that. I think I'd like to slowly approach the tent and see if I can get a glimpse of who is inside before alerting them that we're here.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
So I'm better at stealth, but this is where the roll will suck. Watch. No, it's still not bad. Okay, 15. It's going to come bite me in the ass eventually. I know it.
You sneak up to the entrance of the tent. You don't have to open up the openings or anything because it's already untied.
Yeah, I kind of figured I'd catch a glimpse as it's like flapping open.
Yeah. Inside you can see a human male. He's got a beard, he's dressed in robes, and he's holding a staff that's made completely out of glass, and he's kind of like going through what looks like some papers that are set up on this writing desk inside of the tent.
Okay, so I don't recall what Harmon looked like when we ran across him, but I don't.
This is not Harmon.
Yeah, I didn't think it sounded like him.
Harmon was also a human. He was more stout and younger than this guy. And Harmon had a shaved head and a necromantic symbol tattooed in the middle of his forehead.
That's right. I remember that now. No sign of Harmon inside the tent?
No.
to report back or to just ask her it. I will kind of rap on one of the wooden posts that are holding up the tent.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Look up. He looks surprised that he's been snuck up on, and he kind of like pulls his staff closer to himself. He goes, "Hello."
Sorry. Hi. Virion Herpator, Red Beaver Media. Was looking for Mr. Cost. I hadn't seen him around here. Are you one of his associates?
Yes.
I see. Is Harmon in right now?
No, I haven't seen him. I was checking his paperwork to see if there are any clues as to where he was at.
Oh, let's roll an insight check.
Okay.
This is where it's going to botch, right? No. Well, son of a bitch. I should just shut up. It's a 14. May still not be good enough. I don't know, but
You said you got a 14?
that is a 14. There is no modifier on that.
You believe him. He seems truthful.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, we just saw him a few days ago. He actually sent word for me and one of my associates. I kind of gesture outside of the tent where
He's talking of me.
I'm pretty sure where he sees Ranazmyr like thumb wrestling to
I'm wrestling both of them.
yes.
We're
One with each
practicing
hand.
arrangements. So like
Yeah.
we did spider fists is where they merge thumbs and crawl on the rest of their fingers.
Nice. Yes, he actually sent word for me and my associate here to come up and visit. So I guess I'm a little surprised to find him not here. I didn't catch your name. I'm sorry. You are
Iarno.
Yarno. That name sounds familiar to me, doesn't it?
It does.
Now, I'm pretty sure it sounds really familiar to Virion. Nathan doesn't remember fuck all right now. So Yarno was oh god, wasn't he?
He works for the spider.
Yeah, I know. It was one of the letters was written to him that we found, right? In the yes.
In the Tresendar Manor, you found a letter there that was addressed to Iarno from Black Spider. You also know that Iarno is someone that Sildar has been searching for because he went missing.
Look, the spider makes silk. Yarno is a Yarno, right? This is all a Hobby Lobby conspiracy. 5G did it. Murder hornets are coming.
The great Michael's conspiracy. So I don't recall what the letter the Black Spider or what did I even read it or would I know what it said?
The letter said, Lord Albrecht, which is Iarno's last name, my spies in Neverwinter tell me that strangers are due to arrive in Phandalin. They could be working for the dwarves. Capture them if you can, kill them if you must, but don't allow them to upset our plans. See that any dwarven maps in their possession are delivered to me with haste. I'm counting on you, Iarno. Don't disappoint me. And then signed Black Spider.
So he's a bad guy.
Correct.
He never said he was bad.
He's a bad motherfucker. Yarno.
Their plans to open a frozen yogurt place.
Combination frozen yogurt craft store.
Yep.
Yogurt and yarn. Yarno. I see. So you're a friend of Harmon?
Yes, I'm his assistant.
Your assistant, I see. Okay. Well, he sent for us. I assume his intention was for us to meet. I would be happy for my entourage and I to accompany you to find Mr. Cost if you'd like the extra help.
Well, I was just going to wait here for him. But if you'd like to maybe check the hills, and he kind of gestures out, then we could cover more locations that way.
Well, yes, split the party. That never goes poorly for anyone.
I'm going to enter the tent.
Okay.
And I'm going to do double finger guns, and then the hands are going to do double finger guns.
It's like they're on like your shoulders.
We've been practicing.
So inside the tent itself, it's pretty nice. There's a cot, a chair, a writing desk with various supplies and sheets of paper and stuff on it. There's a chest that's open. Looks like someone's gone through it. There's some robes and clothes inside of it.
I'm going to walk over to the chest.
Okay.
He left his things open.
He did.
That seems strange.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look? It looks like people have been kind of digging through it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. How about stuff in the room kind of thrown about?
Yeah, like some of the drawers on the writing desk are pulled open, and the papers are kind of pushed around.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around like Columbo. Like, oh my god, I can't believe what a mess this guy is. You think that he would have had plenty of time to put his things away?
Classic Harmon.
I know. How can you expect to have nice things if you don't take care of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna start folding up some of the clothing and stuff like that, and setting it where they would go in cabinets and stuff.
Okay.
You said there's papers and books strewn about?
Yes.
Okay. Where how many seats are there?
Just one.
Just one.
There's a cot and a chair.
Right. And just one chair, one cot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where do you know Harmon from?
We have worked together on different projects before.
What kind of projects?
Oh, Harmon's specialty, and he kind of
Macaroni pictures.
Gestures towards the outside.
You do outdoors? You're outdoorsman?
A bit, yes.
Right. Does he have both of his hands, just out of curiosity?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take Brian De Palma, and I'm going to lift him up and be like, this guy, he came to get us. Do you know him?
Yarno looks at the hand, and he looks completely disgusted by it.
You don't like Scarface? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yes, the accent work was wrong. We get it. But it is a time period movie. It is... Ugh. Why is he disgusted? Is he disgusted by undead things or just this particular thing?
By undead things.
Oh. I thought you worked with Harmon.
I do work with Harmon.
And you don't like undead things?
No.
That's weird.
Why is that weird?
Because he likes undead things.
Man, this guy cannot roll to save his life now.
Oh.
He thinks for a moment. It's very obvious he's trying to come up with an excuse because he clearly did not know anything about what Harmon did.
Right. Oh, see, here's what's weird, right? Is that we came for a person, he's not here, okay? And then all of his things in his room are jumping. They're all messy and all thrown about. He's a very astute research man.
he learns things. He has books and notes, and it's very complicated. And he loves undead things. You didn't seem to know anything about him.
Our common work didn't cover the undead.
Help me clean up at least then, so when he gets back, everything will be tidy.
He's gonna look at the two of you and fail his insight roll to figure out if this is a trick or not. So
Okay.
he's gonna kind of glance at Virion, who I think is still kind of by the doorway.
Yeah, I'm just taking all of this in. If he and Ranazmyr are going to start cleaning things up in Harmon's tent, I'm actually going to go ahead and join in that activity. Just sort of tidying things up.
He's so weirded out, but he does help start putting away papers and putting books up and stuff. But the whole time he's holding onto his staff, so he's just doing all this one-handed.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to roll sleep dice.
Okay. I forget how that works.
A 5d8.
Yep. And
So 17 hit points worth of.
17.
Mm-hmm.
It says 5d8.
Yep.
He has more than 17 hit points.
Does he feel tired?
He yawns.
Yano.
That's how he got his name.
Oh, wait. Hold on. I can cast this at a higher level. I didn't realize that.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to cast it. I would have cast it at a higher level if I knew I could.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going
to give you an extra D8.
per extra 2d8 per level.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jesus, I didn't know it stacked that high. Holy crap.
I know I stack shit that high. Okay, 11 more. So 29.
Does he get to make a save, or did he just fall asleep?
He falls asleep, Rachel. That's how it works.
Okay. He's in the middle of trying to fold a tunic one-handed, and then he just sort of falls forward.
Oh no, he's exhausted. We should
Yeah,
tie him up.
Yeah. Digging through a man's drawers will do that to you.
Hands. I'm gonna throw a rope to the hands. We're gonna tie him up like a snow speeder on Hoth.
Should wrap. Had that not worked, my tact was going to be to just make small talk with him as we cleaned.
Just continually weird him out.
Well, I wanted to drop more subtle hints. It's like, oh, so you're an outdoorsman, man, huh? Okay, well, that's great. How do you? The bugs are really horrible out here this time of year, especially the spiders. Just to see if I would get a rise out of him and just scare the shit out of him. I wanted to see if I could provoke him into doing something and then, crush his nuts. So,
hold on.
Okay.
We're spear hole people here. Thank you very much. Don't be switching up our game.
Look, we can diversify in the genitalia that we destroy, okay?
So you guys tie him up. He has dropped his staff, which even though it's made of glass, it doesn't immediately shatter once it hits the ground.
Okay, I'm gonna take his staff.
Okay.
And then you're going to take his weapon.
Oh.
I think we should. If we have enough rope, we should totally wrap him up like a spider's cocoon, just to really fuck with him.
Well, once we have him tied up, I want to go through all of his stuff that's on him.
Oh yeah, no, yep.
So he has the staff, he has 2 potions, and 10 gold.
I assume healing potions.
One is a potion of healing. The other is a potion of invisibility.
Okay. How would I administer a potion to a hand, just out of curiosity, for future reference? How would I do that? I just pour it into the wrist stock?
I guess into the wrist stump.
Or would I have to kind of splash it like olive oil over the whole thing?
Rub it like a potato.
Yeah.
Rub it like a potato.
Like you get like oil, like you put oil in the potato, and then like you, isn't I don't know.
Whatever
How are
you
you
do,
Make sure it
applying
gets on
oil
it.
to a potato?
Because I like drizzle it on the potato, and then like I just rub it on to make sure the oil gets all over it.
I have to see Rachel cook at some time in my life. I have to see this.
I'm
What-
horrible. I'm horrible at cooking.
What are you doing to a potato that you're rubbing it in oil?
I just
wait a minute, you're saying horrible. I mean, she's massaging a potato with oil. That doesn't sound horrible to me at all. Just remember, however you do it, just make sure you do it for 20 seconds. That way you
Look, I've been saying that to women for years, and they look, just do it for 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
man.
It'll be fine.
That's all I need. I'm not done talking to Rachel about this. What are you talking about? You rub like a whole potato? You skin the potato and you rub
no,
it
I don't.
in oil?
I don't skin the potato. I leave the
What are you
skin
doing
on.
with the potato that requires oil?
I wash the potato, and then I
Right.
stab it with a fork, and then I put oil and salt and pepper on it, and then I rub the potato so the oil and the salt and pepper get all over it,
Right.
and then I stick it in the oven,
And then you're done cooking.
and then it bakes, and I have a
Holy
baked potato.
shit. Vegan cooking seems crazy to me.
That's how
Well-
Is that not how you bake a potato?
I guess. Yeah.
Well, so
First
generally speaking, well, it
Baking
depends.
a potato without dicing it and throwing garlic and salt and fucking chili and cheddar cheese and fucking more pepper jack cheese and then bacon.
You add that
bits.
after you bake it.
Well, you have to dice. I always dice my potatoes up. I don't think I've cooked a baked potato like that in a long time. But just the idea of you cooking by like, I like to think that you have like one of those massage beds and you like lay a potato on it. You're just like, so you seem really tense, potato.
Tell me about your day.
Oh my god.
How's the wife and kids?
he like picks up a mouth and sticks it on his face. He's like, the wife is always on my ass. Mr. Potato Head, we told you about cursing.
Those two French fries, I'd kill them if I could get away with it.
Oh man, that's a messed up joke. These.
Oh god.
Not that one. Okay, not that one. So anyway, this guy's asleep. We took all his shit.
Yes.
Staff looks magic, yeah.
It does look magic.
It has to be. Why the fuck would you make it out of glass?
Right.
Right? This is like the worst of the Three Little Pigs. Like, I made this thing I hit things with out of glass. I'm like, are you a brain dead pig? You're dead. The wolf's getting you for sure. But I made my house out of air. Like, okay. He huffs and he puffs and he made a new house. Okay, I guess we'll kind of push him up against. Let's sit him in a chair. Because there's only one. Right?
Okay.
Let's use it.
All right.
Tie him to the chair.
Cool, but let's tie him upside down to the chair.
Okay.
No, let's just tie him regular. I don't want to make this too complicated.
Okay.
We could
Okay.
tie him so that there's only 3 chair legs. You can do the math to figure out how that works, but
A tripod.
yeah. No, it's fine. Let's just tie him in the chair and take away his staff. And did he have so he had potions on him and 10 gold?
10 gold.
And
Okay.
a potion of invisibility, potion of healing.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm going to hold his staff and I'm going to rouse him to wakedness.
Okay. Kind of come to and immediately pull at the rope, but he is, in fact, a wizard with a negative strength score.
I'm going to wave his stick at him. Hey, look what I found.
That's
Yes, I know, it's yours. And I took it.
Kind of like how you were trying to take something that belonged to Harmon.
I thought this camp was abandoned, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at my face. Do I look like the kind of person who will kill you? And I'm going to make
Don't.
a weird look like...
Don't answer that.
Hold me back, hands. Hold me back.
Do I look like the kind of guy that would send my hands to slap the shit out of you? Yes. Yes, I do.
Don't you know I'm loco, essay?
Look, I'm sorry. All right, I thought this camp was abandoned. I was just checking for more supplies. I'm on my way out of here.
You're full of shit.
No, I'm leaving here.
We know who you are, Yarno. You have dealings with the spider, eh?
Are you working with the spider?
I am the son of the spider. But they're different spiders, I think. Maybe the same spider, I don't know. Describe your spider. Does he have 8 arms?
No.
My father had 8 arms and never hugged me with any of them. He was such a cold man.
He went out for more flies and never came back.
He went out for 8 packs of cigarettes.
He was a chain smoker.
Once again, we want to thank you guys for listening to Freelance Heroism. We hope you're having just as much fun listening as we are playing. Visit us at facebook.com/freelanceheroism and leave us a like. If you'd like to see our adventures in comic form, the professional illustrates our misadventures and more at 1d4rounds.com. If you're interested in supporting us, consider donating. We're at patreon.com/freelance_heroism. Keep an eye out for rewards as we add them.
Our cast includes me, Dees Cassius, as Ranazmyr on lead guitar, David Walker as Varys on drums, Jake Sipple as Mellifluor with lead vocals, and Nathan Lett as Virion Herpator, Lichgate's executive talent agent. And let's not forget, last but not least, our suffering DM, Rachel Moore.
Questions or comments? Send an email to freelanceheroismpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks again for listening. We'll see you next week. Until then, the invoice is in the mail.
What's an invoice? That's the voice you use inside. For indoor concerts.
As opposed to your out voice.
I use my out voice all the time. You can clip this entirely.
Uh-huh.
When you order from like a Subway, do you order the foot long or the 6-inch?
6.
Savage.
Why?
Fucking ridiculous.
Why?
Because they're already making they cut it in half. You don't feel like they're jipping you of half a sandwich?
No, because I'm not paying for a whole sandwich.
No. You're paying for half a sandwich. That's so weird to me. I could they have club sandwiches.
I feel like 6 inches is a perfectly normal sandwich size.
Absolutely not. That is ridiculous to me. I want rounded baked edges on both sides of my sandwich. I don't want you to trying to squeeze any fucking value out. Just make the bread, put the shit on it, and give it. I don't like this.
Well, I
6-inch trend.
I can't eat a whole 12-inch sandwich.
You've eaten 2 6-inch sandwiches in your life, correct?
Not back to back.
Give it some time, like a couple hours. You could eat 2 sandwiches or 1 sandwich. Now you've got me spun up. Foot long sandwich for sure. Okay. And if possible, I like to steal it. So we'll come back around.
Great.